Okay, so we are now officially recording. So real quick, let me just summarize since I forgot to hit the record button right on time. We nominated Jordana in absentia to handle the Community Summit CWG update at Drupalcon, which looks like that's on April 6th. That's the date. That's in there. Okay, so that's where we started. So hi, Darren, how are you?
Good.
Good to hear your voice. Okay, so it should be a fairly short meeting. So community health, we have the mental health first aid workshop set up. Anything we need to talk about there, Imogen?
No, I didn't do what I was supposed to do about social media, so I put it in my calendar for this afternoon.
Right, we still have time. I mean, the first one's not till May 19th, so just shoot them to me and I'll get them scheduled.
Okay.
I think everything else there is good. About adding an anti-oppression or anti-bias training, that's what I was actually talking to Alana about. And she said she was going to talk to some DDI folks and get back to us. I pinged her this morning. I haven't heard back. So we're going to have to push this goal to our April meeting to have some options. So if anyone else, knows of anything or has some bandwidth or knows someone who might know someone, I think this is, I think this is a hole in our workshop offerings that would really round things out nicely. The next workshop that we were talking about is the one by Meg Bolger. I think, April, you talked to Meg.
So Meg is not available at this time. When they finish working on a current project, they want to complete a project. I respect boundaries, so but maybe when they're done, we can touch base again. I've talked to Gabe, and I have a meeting with Gabe on March 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. If anybody wanted to join me to talk about like what we're looking for, or if there's anything in particular you want me to say. We're just gonna be talking about like what is Drupal, what's the Drupal community, what are we looking for from him.
What's the date and time again?
That's March 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so
it's just a 30-minute meeting.
Yeah, you can. I mean, do you have a calendar invite set up for that? You can invite me to that. I will try to. What day of the week is that actually?
It's Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, I should be able to. It might be a few minutes late. I have something that goes till 5 on Thursdays, but invite me and I will try and get there.
Okay.
So thank you for doing that. Do we have a time frame as to when we should get back with Meg?
I will check in on that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just put in a few months for now. Okay. Anything else with workshops we need to touch base on? Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Hello. Sorry, I'm Zoom bouncing at the very late end of the day, so not very coherent.
No problem. No problem. All right. So moving on. No blog posts in progress. There hasn't been any chatter that I've seen about potential blog post topics. So we're just going to keep going. If anyone has an idea for, community health related blog post, bring it up in Slack and we can hash it out there. We don't have to wait for our monthly meetings. Nudges, I don't really think we have anything to report. I don't think they've been used yet, which I guess is good.
I used one in the issue queue, but when Neil does a query, the nudges I use aren't going to be fine because I alter them in a way that makes more sense to the issue. And so now that we have a spreadsheet, though, once I use a nudge, I'll put it in the spreadsheet so we don't have to do the query. But if other community members are using them and altering them to fit the particular scenario, they won't show up either. So
I'm just querying for the class name, so it should show up.
Okay.
Oh, great. Great. Okay, so let me actually capture that.
But I did have a conversation with two of the site moderators, and they're in the issue queue quite a bit more than me. And so they're going to try to, if they find something, like kind of make a comment on it in the site moderators queue. That way one of us can go in there and do that. And so I said that works for me since I get those emails all the time. So they had reached out to me personally and said, we do see this more, you know, how can we help? I said, well, you can use the nudges yourself, or you can just ping someone, you know. So
these are, I'm sorry, I missed these are module maintainers or
the site moderator
other site moderators.
queue, yeah.
Okay, no, that's a good idea.
They see spam. Like, I don't know how they see spam. I don't know if there's a certain query that they use that alerts them to spam. Like, I don't see it as it comes in.
Right.
There's some admin type pages that have list everything that's been flagged as potential spam.
Okay.
So I don't think we have good documentation on that, on using those, but I can point you towards those if you ever feel like.
That would be fantastic, because
Okay.
sometimes I'm at a loss of what they're talking about because I don't know how they find the spam.
All right. Yeah, I will Slack some links over.
Thank you, Neil.
Perfect.
Okay, so how long have they been out, the nudges, like for review? Because I noticed all the issues are in the review phase. How long do we want to wait before we finalize those and close out those issues?
I think that, my opinion is, we need to wait until we have more than 2 or 3 in use. Right? You know, I don't think too many people have seen them in use, so I don't think there's any rush on this either, personally.
Can we suggest that Jordana do a one-line mention of it when she talks at the community summit for a wider audience?
Absolutely. Okay, so I will put up here. Here, actually, I will do here. The Cwg Annual Report will be available by then, so we can use it as an outline of topics to cover. Be sure to cover nudges. All right, yep. Good. Long-term tasks, I'm assuming we're not ready to talk about any of this stuff yet because I haven't seen any chatter. All right, let's move on to membership. So conflict resolution team, you know, we've interviewed actually a bunch of people, including a couple people on this call, as a matter of fact. And I guess I can say this, but we decided we're going to wait to do anything until after DrupalCon on this, for, you know, a few different reasons. But we are making progress. You know, we're actually documenting an onboarding process and talking a lot about that, which has been, you know, kind of a big part of the holdup on our end. But we are moving forward with that, and yeah, we'll have more to talk about that after, you know, about a little over a month, I guess, right? DrupalCon is, what are the dates of DrupalCon? Is April 6th part of DrupalCon?
No, it's the week after that, the 12th through the 16th, I think.
So what's Tuesday, April 6th in
The community summit.
that's the week before DrupalCon?
Well, DrupalCon is like Drupal Fest this year, where none of the summits take place during DrupalCon. They take place outside of DrupalCon so more people can go to them and not miss content.
Oh man, I have not been paying attention because I'm not aware of any of that. Okay, I need to read a blog post or something.
Yeah, when we did the 12-hour days and people actually showed up for the full 12 hours, that was a bit much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Okay, still have some open roles that need to be filled. Subject matter experts. Again, if you know of anyone, just, you know, let us know. Let's move on to ambassadors. George was not able to be here, so I don't think he's been able to do much on the code of conduct stuff. So we're going to just skip that for today. Drupal Association, Rachel's not here, and other George is not here. So the documenting the roles, I have no idea about, so we're gonna skip that for now. Other open source communities, I was hoping Jordana said she might be able to pop in, but we haven't seen her yet. So we've actually, the next call is scheduled for tomorrow. So Ruth, are you in the loop on that by chance? I know, and I'm only asking you because I know you represent another open source community.
I don't have anything in my schedule for tomorrow, so I think I probably need to double check that.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Actually, if you would, Ruth, in the full CW.
Oh, yes, I do. Sorry, it's in the evening, 6 o'clock. Yes, sorry, I was looking during the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very good, good. Yeah, so that's scheduled for tomorrow. So if you know anybody from other open source communities who you think could hop in that in short notice, just Jordan is kind of in charge of that. So yeah, just ping her in Slack. Yeah, so that's it for that. Community event support. April, where do we want to start here? I think we start at the top, right?
We have a little segment of the Drupal Association newsletter that just went out about promoting the thing. If anybody wants to take a look, I threw a link in there wherever my section is. I've queued up the same content for the April one. If anybody sees any need to change anything, let me know. Of course, it has the different dates, Mike. So yeah, we get that. Looking through, and we met once briefly, and we need to meet again to keep talking through processes of the CWG. And if someone is doing that as a part of onboarding to the conflict resolution team, let me know, and that way we can not have to meet as much and stuff.
I think that will be a handoff type situation.
Okay, so nobody's doing it at this point? Okay.
No, we're focused on the onboarding aspect of it.
Okay.
So
yeah, so I need to schedule to wake up on a Saturday morning with you again.
Have we heard back from Sage about the December 5th workshop, or is this obsolete, this thing I have highlighted?
I think we heard back from December 5th. I think we're up to date.
Okay, so I'm going to remove that.
Although the March one is already, no wait, where are we? No, the March one is happening this Saturday, so
we'll have more. Okay.
We'll check in after that, yep.
Okay, so the other thing I want to bring up, I don't know, is this the new issue?
We had that issue where we were talking about being able to see code of conduct contacts, or like someone is a contact on said event in like the event view page. But my understanding was that you wanted to change that based on your conversation with the conflict resolution team,
right,
to just being a list of people who have completed the training and events that they have been a contact for.
Right. Yeah. So you and I have talked about this, but let me just summarize for everybody else and just correct me if I miss anything or get anything wrong here. So we currently have a list of folks who have completed the code of conduct training listed inside of the community/CWG area on the same page that talks about what the code of contact training is and the description of that. That list it's always been a curated list. And it hasn't always shown everybody who's completed it for, conflict resolution team reasons. It sucks. I can't really say more, but there's people who have completed the training that, just to be, who are not on the list. So we've decided that we don't want to be in the curated list business anymore. We don't think that's a good idea. So what we are asking, and I don't know if this made it to an issue yet or not, April, you can correct me. we're asking that a list of folks who have completed the training be generated, using views, machine automatically, so it's automatically updated, and put somewhere in the events area. And so the way I envision it, it will be a list, an alphabetical or some type of ordered list of individuals who have completed the training, and then for each individual, a list of events that they have acted as a code of conduct contact for, to kind of show experience. So that's kind of what I think, well, I don't want to say just I, but the conflict resolution team thinks is kind of the best path forward on this, so that we don't have to keep a curated list. We don't have to have this discussion ever again. We can just have a list that's, a list and accurate and available.
Yeah, so that under, let's see, update completed page with more information and updated name, there's a sublink. That particular issue is the one. So I had originally started it as adding the indicator to events, and I replaced the content in the heading with this new call.
Right.
So I don't know if we wanted both, or if that was what you wanted as a way to indicate things.
I'm not, I don't think my voice is the only voice that matters here by any stretch. So, my big thing was, we don't want to, the CWG shouldn't have a curated list. So anything past that, I think the event folks are probably the best people to judge, or to decide,
Right, and I think Neil actually commented before I changed the content of it that we should talk to the event organizers group, and that's still probably true, because it's going, if we wanted to live in that area, we should get their blessing on it.
Right. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do in our thing. Okay. Goal is to remove the list of completers from this page. Once an automated list is available in the Drupal events area. Okay, and then this issue will be the one where that discussion can take place.
And is that something that I should bring up to the event organizers group to get feedback on, or how do we proceed?
Yeah, I mean, who is, Neil, maybe you can answer this, or maybe even Amy June, but that main events section, is that the event organizers group who's behind that, or is that the DA? That's who is?
I think so. It has a subset of managers for that section.
Yeah, I mean, anything.
It's like Kaleem, Avi, and yeah.
Yeah, then I would reach out to, I'd start with those folks. I'd reach out to the maintainers of that section.
Yeah, and we've been doing the actual implementation of any technical stuff, but yeah, they are the product owners of that.
All right, so April, I'm going to ask you to ping the event section maintainers and ask them for their input. Right, then we get their input. If everyone's on board with one solution, fantastic. We can implement it and go about our business.
Sounds good.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so still no subsidy. We'll touch base after Drupalcon. Social media is already scheduled. Newsletter stuff, April, we already talked about. CSC contact field, so that is done. So I'm actually just going to get rid of that one. I'm going to say April will create a follow-up issue to add an indicator and a photo if an event has a. So do we have an issue for this one created?
This is the one I had originally created, and we had questions about it, and then you came back with the feedback, and I just replaced that ticket information. So I can recreate it again, or do you have different thoughts on that?
Maybe add like a line to that, to the existing one. With, with the question, do we want to have some sort of indication on the main events page that the event is covered by a trained trainer, a trained contact?
So as a comment on that, or as part of a question within the ticket description?
Wherever you think it makes sense. Because the big issue here is just code of conduct, contact information for events, right? That's the overarching issue. So, in my head, I view all these things as just like little subtasks of that. So if it makes sense, start them, I like simple. So I would say start it all on one task. And if the task gets too big, we break it up into 2 tasks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And do we need a indication on the main event listings, or is it okay that you can discover it once you click through to an event?
I don't think I have personally strong feelings one way or the other. But I'd be interested in what Kaleem and Avi and the other section maintainers have to say on that. And I know we talked last month, we talked about, in the long run, it might make sense to have a series of little icons associated with each event that indicate that, this event will have, a virtual component. This event will have a trained code of conduct. This event, I don't know what the other ones are, but
Yeah, and it's all like, making sure making sure the page doesn't get too busy.
right.
And
So yeah,
has the information that you need.
Yeah. All right, so April will add note about having some type of COC let's see. COC contact indicator.
I think they even have their meeting this evening. Maybe I'll try to hop into that if I'm still alive after
No,
sitting at the computer all day.
It was last night. They have it on weird ETC time, so it's never Tuesdays. It's like Mondays or something. I don't know.
That's weird. Because I thought I had it, and I thought I had it so that it was interpreting it for Eastern time. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'll get in touch with them.
They do have a calendar subscribe somewhere.
See, I thought I was subscribed to it. I think that's the issue.
All right. Anything about the code of conduct template cover virtual events? Is there anything here that we actually need to do still?
That we already did. I think
Yeah.
it's more, yeah, maybe we didn't delete it last time.
That's done. It's deleted.
Whoa, not all of it. Hold on, go back. I
Sorry.
think that's unrelated. I think that this is something different. This needs to come out.
How best address attendees will be held accountable. Well, that might.
That's the exploration of
Oh, okay.
the things.
Yeah, but I thought that we were going to do this in the context of adding some language to the template. No? Or am I misremembering? Okay.
I think it's kind of a deep dive,
All right.
figuring out how we work with events in this area, right? So figuring out how we can work together.
All right, that's fine. So you and I can keep talking about this if we have time.
Okay.
And yeah, that's fine. All right. That's it. That's the agenda. Anybody have anything you want to bring up that wasn't on the agenda?
Oh, I think, I don't know if this needs a different meeting or not, but mid-camp in code of conduct stuff is coming up right now. And we realized that none of the organizers formally sign a code of conduct agreement. So we created an issue in the issue queue saying, as an organizer, you sign this, because as a speaker or as an attendee, when you buy a ticket, you check the box. But ahead of time, organizers don't have a mechanism. So we went and created an issue in the issue queue, and before you join another organizer meeting, please abide by the code of conduct. And that way people can look at the organizer page and go into the mid-camp issue queue and see that the organizers are abiding by the code of conduct formally. So I don't know if that needs to be mentioned someplace. That's been kind of an oversight for camps. So we did that for bad camp too. And this may be an issue moving forward because we have some people who aren't in agreement with who leadership should be on the organizing team. And so we're trying to establish this baseline moving forward saying, yes, there could be some history someplace, but they abide by the code of conduct and have signed it. Here you can see this moving forward. Does that make sense? So it provides like this path of redemption or whatever.
So I guess my initial question is, why is that different from the Drupal community code of conduct?
Why do we have people sign tickets that say they abide when they agree to speak, you know?
Well, I mean, but that's that, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
It's a little bit different when it's an in-person event, right? Because then you can talk about, the code of conduct doesn't want you to bring weapons, right? That's a very different thing.
But we're talking about harassment in the digital space and people feeling safe in the digital space the same way they would feel safe in the in-person space.
Yeah.
So I don't
It's also
know.
quite important for the organizer because like they're the people who are setting the bar for that event, aren't they? So really they definitely should have had some way of saying that they will abide by those.
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like mid-camp has some type of separate agreement, or is it the same?
Well, we are moving forward because, and we had this issue with bad camp in the fall where we removed someone where we shouldn't have done that from the leadership role, but we had pressure to remove this person from the event. And we're having that same incident happen at mid-camp. And so we're like, wait a minute. How can someone view the mid-camp organizers page and know that they agreed to our code of conduct? You know, how can we relate to people who are feeling unsafe that these people are abiding by it moving forward?
So the
something,
agreement that organizers are checking or agreeing to, is that the same as the code of conduct for the event, or is it a whole other thing?
It's for the event, but because most of the time you sign that when you buy the ticket, but
Right,
organize all throughout the year.
I wasn't clear if it was like a separate agreement.
It's the same. It's the same agreement, but a different checkbox. Or
right. Yeah, because you're checking it before there might even be a website.
Right. Exactly.
And this could even be a situation where like this is a role within the community and there's a code of ethics attached to a role like this, just like we abide by a code of ethics, the CWG.
Yeah, this is a slippery slope because basically what we're talking about is something that's been a long going discussion is a higher bar for community leaders, above and beyond the code of conduct. Like we on the community health team, we have a higher bar because we took the time to write out our code of ethics. Because there was nothing else and we felt that we needed to have one. But yeah, so the question, I mean, the reason why it's a slippery slope is, do we start having like community, higher bar agreements for everything, or just one? Like,
I think it comes from that defining leadership portion of some things that I'm looking into, like how do we define leadership and what are the bars?
Well, we're not even asking for a higher level. We're just asking for visibility so people who are thinking about coming to our event can see that all the organizers and volunteers agreed to the code of conduct and they feel safe.
So visibility, we're on the events page, right?
We don't know yet. It's just in our issue queue right now. This just happened this week, so we're still evolving, but because it happened at Bad Camp last year and the result wasn't what we as organizers wanted. We just had our first kickoff meeting for Bad Camp last week, and I said, here's this issue. Before we have another meeting, let's have organizers sign this issue like we did at mid camp, you know?
And that
So like
issue-
it's,
Because you
Go
don't
ahead.
have to be a Drupalcon, you don't have to have a Drupal.org profile to be an organizer. That's the part two. That isn't a prerequisite to volunteering at the event. So,
well, if you don't have a Drupal.org profile, then how do you sign the issue on Drupal.org?
oh, I guess so. Yeah, okay.
Well, no, but that actually works in our favor for this. Right? Because, basically this can be as simple as, if you want to be an organizer, you have to, leave a comment on this issue saying that you understand that the events around organizing an event are subject to the same Drupal community code of conduct as, the rest of Drupal.org. I mean, that might be a very easy to implement solution.
and it kind of sounds like an organizer onboarding process, like making sure that when you start the new year of organizing the event, that this is sort of the processes. This might be something that we pull into the event organizers group too, to think through.
Yeah, so this issue, Amy June, this is in the mid-camp queue or the event organizers queue?
Mid camp right now.
Yeah, I would see, I don't know what the pace of discussion is there, obviously, but see if there's, some type of consensus in there. And then maybe bring it to the event organizers.
Okay, well, Avi's connected to this issue because
Oh,
Avi
okay,
is
well,
the mid-camp organizer. So I think he'll have lots of information about why it's happening. So
I'm just curious if the Drupal community code of conduct is a high enough bar to meet the requirements, right? That's that's the thing I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the issue, so. All right, so, okay, so I'm gonna put a little, oh, thank you, whoever started that comment down there. So there is an existing issue related to this in the, so that mid-camp issue queue, that's on Drupal.org, Imogen?
let me pull that up for you.
Yeah, just put it in the, if you have the document open, or put it in Slack or somewhere, I'll put it in the document.
Okay, it's in the Zoom chat.
I'm sorry, where'd you put it? Oh, the Zoom chat. Okay.
And this is new, so these words may not work, but this is what we came up with on the fly. It was a time sensitive situation.
Yeah. Think about it, talk to the other organizers and see if this is something that can't come under the Drupal code of conduct. Or if it needs to be something like a reminder that organizing activities are covered by the Drupal code of conduct. In addition, these 4 bullet points or whatever. We have to think about that, but it's just something to get the conversation going. All right, that's interesting. All right, very good. Anything else? All right, well, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Some of you, it's later than others. Good to see everybody, and I will do my best to make sure everybody gets invites for the April meeting. I'll be sending out the doodle in the next week or so. Thanks, everyone. Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you.
Thank you. Bye.
Stop recording.